Van, I appreciate you making time to talk to us. I hope you're doing well.
Yep, things are great. It's a real exciting day here at the Education Lottery.
It sure is. I'm curious, how have sales been today? How does it compare to just a normal day when you have a jackpot this big?
Yeah, well, I looked back for you. I thought you might ask a question like that. So on average, back in April, when this jackpot started at $20 million, not bad, 20 million.
Yeah.
We averaged $178,000 a day in Mega Millions sales. So in July, as it's grown now to 830 million, our sales are now up to a daily average of about 835,000.
So there's some interest in all of this, and I saw the jackpot's already been bumped up today to 830 million.
Yes,
might it go higher even yet?
I don't think so today. I think that was the last word for today.
Mega Millions it's a multi-state lottery, so I'm wondering, is the benefit to the state any different than if you're just playing a North Carolina-based game?
No, not really. What we have, Jamie, is a portfolio of games to try to appeal to as diverse as audience as we can. And so what's happening right now with Mega Millions is it's playing its biggest role of the year. If you went back to April 20th again and followed all those sales through last Friday, the last drawing, we've raised about $12 million, about 12.5 million from those sales for education. Now, when the jackpot's won, things go back down to normal, then there'll be a plateau there again, and it won't be doing quite as much work for us. The bread and butter of the education lottery still is the scratch-off games. That's where the most popular games we have. That's where most of our sales are. And that's where most of the money is raised for education.
Yeah, touch on that a little bit more. How much of an impact these sales have on education in our state?
Sure. So last year we raised $936 million in the whole. This is FY21. We don't know yet the final results for the year that just ended, but so that's extra money that the state has to use for education. Now, state lotteries all across the U.S. are there to raise money for good causes. North Carolina chose education. It helps the money raised helps build and repair schools. It helps 4-year-olds go to academic preschool, helps kids based on financial need get scholarships and grants to pay for colleges, and it helps every school system. So the General Assembly decides each year in the budget what's the best use of the money is.
Well, in a fast-growing community like Charlotte-Mecklenburg, we know schools are being built all of the time, so that money is going to good use, certainly. All right, let's dream here just a little bit. If you win, what are the rules about coming forward? How should you do it? How long do you have?
Sure. Well, if you win tonight, I would have an exciting, fun, private celebration in my home. I would sign that ticket and I would put it in a very secure place. If you don't have a safe deposit box, go get one, put it in there. Then you want to find a good financial advisor, and you want to find a good lawyer, because you have 180 days to figure out what you want to do, how you want to change your life, and you should use as much of that time as you need to get ready for this life-changing event. And Jamie, there's been one interesting change in our law that hasn't gotten a lot of attention because it hasn't happened yet. But the last big jackpot we had was in June 2019. Great fella down in Cumberland County won $344 million. After that event, not because of that event, but after that event, the General Assembly made a change in the law. So they made a change that if someone wins $50 million or more on a lottery game, they have 90 days that they can be anonymous. So we cannot announce who that winner is for 90 days. So if you took that 180 days and came in on day 179, got your prize, and then took the 90 days to be anonymous, then you would have a good long time of 9 months there to shield yourself, to protect yourself, to do the smart things.
Because that's the thing. You're going to have a lot of friends real fast if that word gets out, right? That you've got that kind of money coming your direction.
Well, you know, that is the conventional wisdom. And I understand that concern, but I've worked with most of the jackpot winners in North Carolina, and I haven't had one call me back yet and tell me how terrible the experience was. So I think what happens is that most of them so far have had come in and told their stories, shared their stories,
Yeah.
and then have been able to retreat back to privacy.
Which is what you would want. You need to have a lot of money to do so. I'm just curious about little things like, how do you verify the ticket itself?
Well, there's several ways, but we have a security system. So you're going to come in, and we're going to be making sure you are who you say you are. We're going to be making sure that you were the person who bought this ticket. And most stores have TV cameras, so we know exactly what time of day that winning ticket was sold, so we can go back and review the TV cameras there. The ticket that's made on special stock, that would be very challenging for someone to replicate. And so there's been a lot of security. Lotteries have been around now since 1964, and drawings are a big deal for us, and we want to make sure they're done fairly and responsibly. So it takes a little while to verify all that stuff, but we go to work actually before you show up and verifying what happened. And then when you show up, we have, the evidence and the circumstances to compare what you share with us.
I find that all very fascinating. Worst case scenario, I'm envisioning, excitement at your house, something happens, something gets spilled on the ticket, it somehow gets destroyed or lost or something. Is there any other way to verify it if something like that would happen?
No, you have to bring that ticket into us.
Man.
Now, one thing that's changing the game a little bit, Jamie, is online play. So you can now, in several states, play the lottery online. In North Carolina, we have very limited online play, but it does involve Powerball. So you can buy your Powerball ticket online, your Mega Millions ticket online, and Lucky for Life and Carolina Cash 5. So in those cases, you do have a little bit more security if something were to happen there, because it's actually electronic transfer. You have a relationship with the lottery. It can go a little bit more smoother than the dog ate half my ticket.
Yeah, which would be just a nightmare scenario. You kind of touched on it, right? That you want to kind of get your ducks in a row. Do you offer any guidance or support, before they come in and claim the prize?
Not too much, other than what I shared with you, Jamie. So we had a person win part of a Powerball jackpot, and she was on her way up here to claim the prize. I got connected with her, and I suggested to her what I just said. I said, you really need a financial advisor and you need a lawyer. She understood. She turned the car around. She went home. She showed up about 2 weeks later with a lawyer and a financial advisor.
Got those ducks in a row.
But we wouldn't recommend one firm over another. We just say, this is life-changing, and you needed good advice.
Yeah,
you got the money to pay for it too.
Yeah, exactly right. But your next decisions are really going to be important, no doubt about it. Are taxes automatically withheld?
Yeah, well, we do a minimum withholding.
Okay.
So you would have a minimum withholding of state and federal taxes.
So that's going to come out right away. And then it sounds maybe a goofy question, but does the money then just get wired right into my checking account? How does that work?
Well, actually, it is electronic fund transfer for the jackpots. And so you would come in and we would set up the wire transfer. And the one big decision that a lot of people don't think about is the lump sum versus the annuity. The annuity is paid out over 29 years. And it's starting off with the first payment is probably $6, $7, $8 million, and then it's growing every year. It's a great way if you're younger to manage your money. A lot of people say, "I'll take it and invest it yourself," but if you have an annuity, you're going to get smarter about money every year because you're going to see how fast it can disappear.
Yeah, no question. Do you have to contact your bank and say, hey, a $300 million deposit's headed your way? I mean, how does that work?
Yes, there is a conversation sort of like that. So you share your banking information with us, and we're contacting the bank, and we're making sure it's all set and secure and ready to go.
That makes sense. Take us behind the curtain a little bit, Van. You've talked to some of these big winners, as they've come through. Just what's that experience like to hear, their stories, these life-changing moments up front and personally that you've got to see those?
It's a magical time, and you sort of feel privileged to be part of it. I'm a North Carolinian, grew up here and love the state. What has amazed me in 12 years of working with winners is almost everyone, whether they've won 100,000 or 344 million, want to do good things with their money. I haven't had too many experiences where someone said, I'm off to Vegas, see you later. The jackpot winner, Charles Jackson, $344 million, he had 3 charities that he was going to help. And he had those on his mind. He announced that at the news conference, and he's sitting there, and he's a small businessman. But he comes up, he's got some sort of ragged jeans on. Someone says, "What are you going to do?" He says, "I think I'm going to buy me some new jeans." So just a lot of real down to earth folks who've had incredible luck.
Absolutely. So maybe not only changing your life, but others around you with your charitable giving going forward.
Jim, you might be surprised too about the diversity of players. So Mr. Jackson was a small businessman. We had a homemaker win a jackpot. We had a retired banker win a jackpot. We had a correctional officer win a jackpot. We had a college student win a jackpot. So you see a lot more diversity in the winners than maybe sometimes you think when you think of who plays the lottery.
Well, we'll
it's a
see
very popular game.
No question about it. We will see what happens tonight. If we get a winners, or we roll this over one more time, we'll see. Van Denton with the North Carolina Education Lottery. Van, thanks for the time.
Thank you. Good luck tonight.